Welcome to the importance and power of reading. I'm Michelle, the computer lady, your host. During some awful dark times in America, Black people were denied the ability to read, to learn how to read, to write, or to even own books. And that has hampered our communities up until this day. Now we're going to have important conversations about the importance and power of reading. Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's new segment. I have a very special guest for you. Absolutely. He's a phenomenal man. He's a phenomenal father and husband. Let me introduce you to Roshown McLeod and his son. Roshown, tell everybody about you and introduce your little guy there, please.
My name is Roshown McLeod. I currently reside in Georgia. My background is professional sports. As you can see, I played basketball at Duke University. I was drafted by the Atlanta Hawks in 1998 with the 20th pick. Coached at Indiana University, Fairfield. I worked at numerous high schools, St. Benedict's Prep in New Jersey, East Paulding. Just try to share my wealth of knowledge with the game. But also now currently I work for JP Morgan Chase, and I work in home lending. You talk about the importance of reading, and I know how important that is, which is why we got Roman here. He reads daily. He lives at the library. He's always taking out books and finishing them in a short period of time. Mm-hmm. So we want to talk about our reading journey as with you, and hopefully it will help ignite somebody else's fire and about the importance of reading.
Wow, that is absolutely outstanding. And thank you for bringing a little guest with you today. That made my day. Now, let's get into a few things, because you talked about not only playing professional sports, but you coached. When did you start reading? What age did you start reading at, Roshown? And then what age did Rowan start reading at?
Well, I started reading at about maybe 5. That's when it became important. I grew up in a single parent family. And I knew education was going to be my path to, having a different life than what I saw, historically in my family. And I really didn't enjoy reading initially. What my mom did for me was she started, getting me books of things that I enjoyed. And that started to pique my interest, comic books, things like that. And that's what, prompted me to start reading, was because of my interest in superheroes, action figures, the cartoons at the time. So instead of watching the shows, or in addition to the shows, my mom would get me and my dad would give me comic books when I was a lot younger. And that piqued my interest in reading, because a lot of the things that happened in the comic books, they didn't show on the TV shows. So it gave me a deeper insight on my favorite characters.
It's awesome. I love comic books. So
And
Roshown,
Roman's been reading since he could talk. His mom would read to him while he was in the belly. Well, his mom read books to him when he was in the belly, and now he reads every night, every day, for a minimum of 20 minutes. So, the goal is to read 10,000, 1,000 books and by 10. What is it?
Probably like 10,000 books.
Oh, yeah.
I read the books I have like, 50 times. And the only books I haven't read is my Percy Jackson book 5. And I'm almost done with the 4th one.
Percy Jackson. That's awesome. I love that series.
And I got Captain Underpants, so I finished that immediately. That's so funny.
That is amazing, amazing. So, Roshown, you said you didn't really like to read. So you got into reading because you like comic books, but who was your major influencer around your reading journey? Was it mom? Was it dad? Was it an aunt, an uncle? Did you have a mentor that got you into reading more?
It was my mom, because my mom was big, into the church. Um, she was really impacted by her faith, and she read the Bible a lot. I mean, from back to front, probably a million times to get a deeper understanding. And in her so doing that, she transitioned that over to us. I mean, when I look at Roman, sometimes I'll read a book that he might have read to him at night, and he know every book word for word. So, but it
Right.
also gives you a deeper understanding of what you're reading as you start to you read the same paragraphs, but you might get something different out of them each time you read it.
Well, I concur with that. I know it for a fact. Now, what was your favorite book as a child? Both of you. You answer first, Rowan, and then Roshan, you answer next.
Mm, my favorite book when I was little, uh, all of them that I had, and now I like the Percy Jackson book.
Awesome. And Roshan, what was your favorite book as a little? And it could be a comic book, it could be any book that you loved.
I liked reading Black Panther. I mean, that was, like growing up in the inner city in New Jersey. It was just something you didn't see, and so it intrigued me a lot to see, Black royalty, and protecting, what they owned, and the power that they possessed. So it gave me a lot of inspiration as to seeing people who look like me in a different light. So Black Panther was my favorite, and it's still my
I
favorite
can
to the day. I watch every series.
Who watches
Well, my
Avengers?
dad was in the Navy, so we did comic books. So we had all the comic books, Black Panther, Superman, Batman, both
Yep,
DC and Marvel, and even some action comic books. I
yep.
actually have a collection I'm trying to get rid of right now.
I
But
want
I
it.
love comic books. Now, what are you reading these days? What's your favorite book that you're reading right now, or some books that you like to share that you're getting into at this moment?
This book right here.
All right, brag the honor, tune your own horn.
Yeah,
And
this is
who's
what
the
I'm
author?
Peggy Klaus.
Who will be
That's
it?
his favorite book.
So this is what I'm reading right now. My manager actually gave it to me. So most of it being that I transitioned from sports into corporate America, I'm trying to really understand corporate America. It's a little different, it's still some politics and everything, but once you start, I'm a people person, so I read people really well, but learning products, different, policies, procedures, different things, just getting caught up on things like that within the corporate space makes the transition, excuse me, a little bit better. So I've been trying to catch up on a lot of books like this because coming from a different background where I've had so much success, I want to make sure that I'm sharing my story, but not telling my story as if I'm better than. You know what I mean? Because I don't want people to be turned off by, he think he's better than everybody because he was in the NBA. I don't think that, but at the same time, it is a part of who I am, and I want people to know the full version of me, and why I'm so competitive in the roles and the parts that I play in my position currently.
Well, I met you at InvestFest, and that was phenomenal. And when I came in and I saw you, because you know I'm older than you, so your generation of players, that's the games we went to. I with Spud Webb and you guys, and so I was like trying not to fan out too much. And so, but just so everybody knows, really down to earth, great manners. I just love what you did for the team, but I also love your spirit. And so I was really gravitated to you, and I really thank you for coming on today. The other part is people are going to think what they think. And because you were in the NBA, that doesn't mean that you're a bad person or that you're this, that, and the other. You had success. You've gone on to be a community advocate. You've gone on to teach the basketball skills, and you still work with young people and you give your time. So, for all the haters out there, you need to drink more water.
I mean, and just hearing you say that, not just me, but Roman, my wife. My wife is a parent liaison for Marietta City Schools. We're working on right now an event at where she works with helping the young men and women dress up for the holidays. So we're raising money to get them suits, shoes, and ties and dresses, and we're going to have a ball for them to enjoy so they can see something different. That's how it started for me, the cotillions and the things like that when I was 12, 13, 14, 15 years old, going to the Rotary Club and winning awards for academic excellence, things like that. Those were the things that motivated me to want to be great. And so the more success you have in small pockets, the bigger success you end up having when it's good. So I always try to tell Roman, don't be frustrated. Think about it. Don't always, like show your emotions outward. Deal with it, and then like have a solution. And he's great at it. So hopefully he can get better as he gets older as well.
He teaches me how
Well,
to
you are.
invest.
I agree. You're a great role model, and that's part of it. Because when we model those behaviors for our kids, we make better children. And so you're doing an amazing job. I am happy to be in this circle with you. Not only that, me seeing you that you pivoted from sports into corporate America, you're working with Chase and working with wealth management and working with community development. I thought that was absolutely excellent. And I was like, look at, because a lot of times when people think of athletes, they don't always think athletes are bright.
Right.
But you were an exceptional as far as your education. You were exceptional in what you learned. You have a master's, I think. Is that correct?
No, I'm not finished, but I started it in counseling. So that was what I was going to. Because I worked in the school system, with mentoring and coaching and things like that. That was my direction. But I'm actually getting ready to work on my series licenses so that I can, right now I work in home lending, because just like reading, home ownership, I think falls under that same umbrella of our people being able to understand how, traditional and transitional wealth, and like we want to make sure that not just me. I want to make sure he and then his children and his children, and we keep going down the line to be able to make our generation stronger, more intelligent, but also wealthier. So I got to be able to share what I learned with him, and he's got to be able to take that and teach that to the people that are coming after him. So that's always the goal. Leaders should be building leaders, not followers. And that's what and I say that because of the way that society is. Today everybody wants followers, and whether it's on social media or whatever. And we talk about this all the time. We're not about the followers. We're about the leadership.
I love it. I love it. And on that point, we've got to take a small commercial break, and we're going to be right back with my friend and his son on the importance and power of reading. Everybody stay tuned.
Black life, black inspirational stories, education, luxury, health features. Welcome to the new Black Television Pick TV network, where being in the black is luxury, it's accountability, and it's seeing what you look like in the new face of television. Pick TV network. Come join us.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the importance and power of reading. I have a phenomenal and dynamic guest, Roshown McLeod. Roshown was a former NBA player, and now he works with Chase in the lending department. He's taught basketball, and we have his son, Rowan. This has been amazing. Now, because you're the father of boys, in particular, what set the stage for your child to be successful in his reading career? I know you say mom read to him in the womb. What other things have you done to help him be successful as a good reader?
Well, let me let him explain that because he can explain it better. You know, when he was young, we had him tested for what?
Giftedness, I think, yeah.
Yep. And so he was considered twice exceptional as a, he placed in the 99 percentile and
Yeah.
kids in his age group. He also, has a condition called dyslexia. And so we wanted to make sure that we understood the true meaning of dyslexia and not, what people think it is, which is, they see things backwards. And it's not just that. It's, the ability to transition from what's in your mind out into words or onto paper. And he's also had dysgraphia. And so we have put him with coaches that have taught him how to be better at writing, how to be able to think more critically and be able to get that information from his brain out into words, but also into, onto paper and be able to think critically and not always just emotionally, but to be able to, cater to his emotions, but have a good balance. That's always been something his mom and I are big on because we want him to be able to work with people and be able to help people and be a problem solver and, reading and understanding people's situations when you're reading in the books. Sometimes you identify with the characters or you can relate to the characters, and it also teaches you how you can deal with people because, most of the things that people write or the movies that we see come from something that happened with someone. They parallel life sometimes. So, the more experiences you have, whether it be personal experience, reading, things like that, it teaches you how to work with people.
I absolutely love it. And what a great success story because you talk about not only building a leader, but making sure that he comprehends and understands. And I am so proud of you, Rowan. 99 percentile reminds me of me. I attended college at 15, so I suspect you'll be
I
attending a
think he's
college
going to
very,
be
very soon.
he's going to do that too. I think he'll end up getting into college because I went into college at 17 because my birthday was late and I started earlier. But I just think he'll end up in college at 15 or 16 as well because even the testing at the time when we did it, he was maybe 5 years old and he was reading at a 16, 17-year-old grade level then. And that was, almost 3 years ago now. So I can imagine where he's at today, probably at a college freshman from a vocabulary standpoint. So, and you can hear it in the way he talks, which is great.
Oh, I concur. Now, how important is it for you to have books in the home for him to access? How much has that contributed to his success in his
Sure.
reading journey?
This is my favorite book that I have about Minecraft, and it's really good. But I
And
finished
what's the
it.
name of that book? Share it with everybody for me, please.
It's the Minecraft Wood Sword Chronicles, Book 5, Last Block Standing. And basically, it's just about these people. So they go to school, and they got these magical headsets. They're not magical, but they're like things that like take their mind to like a Minecraft. But the Minecraft that they go to isn't like normal Minecraft because normal Minecraft can't do backflips and stuff. But in this book, you can do backflips and stuff. And it's not like, but everything's still like Minecraft-ish. And then there's this artificial intelligence that was supposed to keep everything in order, but since these kids, they came in and started moving stuff, it adapted and said, hey, these guys are the bigger threat. I gotta figure out how to get rid of these guys. So basically in this book, they befriend him, and then when they come back, he turns into stone. And they're like, what happened? So, but that's what happens in this book. So they gotta figure out. So in the sixth book, when it comes out, they gotta figure out what happened.
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. That is absolutely awesome. I'm
And
gonna
I
have to
got
get
it
that
like
for
2
my
years ago.
grandkids.
I got it 2 years ago, and I've read it like 100 times.
Oh, wow. So
The
you know
adult,
it backwards and forwards. That is amazing.
the
Now,
adults get tired of reading it over and over and over. Cause like, don't you want to read another book? I'm like,
it's your favorite.
mm-hmm.
When I was a kid, I read Madeline probably 50 times. Madeline is 12 little girls in two straight lines because I went to Catholic school, so I understand it. And I
Yeah.
read Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, which was my other favorite. And I read it 50 times, and I've read it several times as an adult because it's just one of my favorite books. So
I gotta
I
read that.
get it. Did you like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? Did you read it?
I gotta read it before. I've never read it before. I gotta read it.
Oh, it's a really good book. It's so much fun.
How big is it?
Now, about that big. It's
Oh,
not
okay, I
real,
can
real
fit.
big, but it's not real small, but you'll like it. It's really good. It's got pictures.
Noise.
It came out in 1968.
Yikes! That's a long
Well,
time ago.
that's right, because I'm an older person. I'm older than your dad and your mom.
He's not that old.
I, I'm
Yeah.
old enough to be your grandmother, and me and grandma are probably the same age.
We so when I was also one of the first books outside of comic books that I started to enjoy was Charlotte's Web. That was one of my favorite books. And then another one, I was introduced to this book in high school actually. My brother Ray, I went to a Catholic school as well, and brother Ray, we had to read a certain number of books, and we did a certain, and then we put a play together at the end. I mean, it was really creative. He was a really creative guy. But Of Mice and Men, that was one of my favorite books, and it prompted me to go look at the movie because I didn't know it was into a movie until later on. But Of Mice and Men it was an astounding book for me as a youngster to read. And then seeing the movie, the actors did a wonderful job as well. But a little bit different than the book, but same outcome. I had the same feeling watching and reading.
I love it. I love it. Well, this time goes by fast. We got to take another short commercial break, and we're going to be right back with my special guest, Roshown McLeod, and his son, Rowan, on the importance and power of reading. Everybody stay tuned. Are you a company, business, or service that believes in social responsibility? Would you like to make a positive impact? You can. You can sponsor this program and be seen by 2 million viewers on the PIC TV network. Call 770-367-1268 for more information today.
Since 1877, Jackson State University has been training students for a life of service and leadership to impact our global society. Ranked among the best HBCUs in the country, Jackson State University offers 47 undergraduate, 37 master's, 1 specialist, and 13 doctoral degree programs. Whether you're interested in the arts, education, public health, the sciences, or business, we're here to take you from ready to JSU ready. Visit jsums.edu and apply today.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the importance and power of reading. I have a father and son duo, and we're having so much fun discussing the importance and power of reading. Welcome to the McLeods, Roshown and Rowan. Now, let's get a little bit deeper dive. What do you think the state of literacy is among our children, our adolescents, and our adults? And if we're not where we need to be, how can we get there? Give me some creative solutions.
Well, I would say with the use of social media, it's really deteriorated because now you get answers at your fingertips. Whereas I know when I was a kid, we used to have to go to the library to find answers in the encyclopedias and the books that were there. So Saturdays he's at the library. My wife takes him to the library to get books all the time, new books. And so with that being said, it makes, we are setting him up to be able to utilize his brain, not just the power of the internet. Because sometimes he'll say, how do you know? He'll say, how do you spell this word? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, I can just Google it. And, but he's a Montessori kid as well. So he comes from the Montessori background since he was like 2 years old. So, that problem solving and creativity of being able to use words and things like that, that's been instilled in him from day one. I would just say, like I said before, I didn't like reading and I'm a math guy. So, and he's a math guy too, but he loves reading as well. And that's why we instilled that into him at a younger age. But encourage kids to read the things that they like to get them started. And if they're reading things that they like, then it won't be as big of a task to them because it'll pique their interest about things that they might like, whether it's fashion, whether it's sports. Because I didn't really get into sports until I was in high school, 14 years old, where I started playing basketball. I didn't read the basketball magazines because I didn't care. I liked playing, but I didn't read. I didn't look at ESPN. I didn't do any of that stuff. But as I became a better player, then I started reading those magazines because I was in them. And it started to really help me understand the progress and the strength of me and the practice that I put in and how it was reflective of my peers. So, I would just offer parents, even youth who might come across this, read things that you like. It helps your vocabulary on a whole. And as you increase your vocabulary, so does mentally your status will increase. And the higher your status, the better rooms you can find yourself in for more opportunity.
Oh, I totally agree. I concur with that statement. The other thing is, I know you gave him his own dictionary. Am I correct?
Well, I didn't give him a dictionary, but
My brain is a dictionary.
he's got a lot of words up there. Sometimes he uses words I don't know what they are.
Yeah.
And he'll say, "You didn't learn that when you was in second grade." I'm like, I don't really know it now, but if you say so.
Well, I always believe in giving all my kids a dictionary.
That's our next book.
And
We're gonna do that. I
Mhm.
appreciate that. That's a good one. We're gonna do that. We'll get the
Oh,
dictionary and
absolutely.
it'll
Because
increase
he's
his
a word guy
vocabulary.
and a math guy.
Yeah.
He's going to be phenomenal. I can't wait till little McLeod grows up and see all the wonderful things he's doing. And the one thing about, you said Montessori, because we're Catholic school kids. There is really great learning at those facilities. Number one, if he's having a problem or if a kid's having a problem, a lot of times they can catch it. Unlike, going to public schools. Not that there's anything wrong with going to public schools. I did both.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
I think sometimes you are able to get that individualized training and a little more advanced learning going into the Catholic or Montessori types of situations. So congratulations on that.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Now, as
Hold
a
on, Pete. I
parent,
think
you got both.
Roman wanted to share something about Montessori.
Okay, go ahead and share it, bro.
At Montessori, instead of using at public school, the only materials that you got your pencil, your eraser, your the stuff in your pencil pouch, and your books. At Montessori, you got way more. You still got your cubby, your books and stuff, your pencil and your pencil pouch. But also, you have materials like for division, we would use racks and tubes. The racks and tubes. And for factors, we would use with the pegboard. Pegboard is like a board, and of course it's got pegs. And you put the pegs you try to make a rectangle or something that's even.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're learning all the math theories, but you're
Theories,
doing
yes.
it hands-on.
Exactly.
You got your fingertips.
Right. So we call that kinetic or tactile learning.
Mm-hmm.
So
And
that's your new word for the day. Tactile learning.
And for
I love it. I love it.
The letters you would trace, we had these little squares with it was sandpaper-ish stuff, and then and then you have the letter on there, and it would be like you have the cursive letters. Yeah, the cursive letters.
Yeah, and
So
they
you
don't
got
even teach cursive in some public schools nowadays, but
That
he
is
loves
correct.
cursive. Yeah,
I'm really good at it.
You
And it's
you
like,
write in cursive and you
yeah, you got
understand it because a lot of
A,
kids don't. So
B,
show
C, D,
us.
E. Yeah.
Right. I
I
love it.
can do all of them.
So you can do all
And
your
then,
letters in cursive.
yeah, I can do my letters in print now. Because then now I go to a charter school. So now I can do print too.
That is awesome. Next thing I know, you'll be writing a book. All right, let's continue with some of these other questions. So, as a professional and as an educator, how important was reading in your journey? How important was reading in the success in your careers?
Well, for me, I would say being able to, take the information off the page, whether it be through statistics or, or reading, being able to take that information and create the story that you want to tell. There's a lot of ways that you could take data and use it for negative or positive. But the one thing that the data doesn't lie. So at the end of the day, it's about who's telling the story. So the information and being able to, take that information and the data and apply it to, the work ethic that you may have, that's how you can learn to tell a story that you want people to know about you. It can protect you when people think you may not be doing something correctly. When you have that ability to take the information off the page through words or numbers, you can protect yourself a little bit better. And like I said, then they can't say that you did or did not do something when you can take that information and bring it out into a story.
Wow, that is absolutely epic.
I
Now,
understand.
well, think about it, because you were in the NBA. How important was reading to know that contract well? Because I know that you probably had an agent as well, but for you to be able to sit down there and decipher all the parts of your contract so you could be successful in negotiating, how important was that?
Well, as a young, I came from, I would say meager beginnings, and my mom didn't make a whole lot of money, and my goal was to change my family history, to not just from a monetary standpoint, but just education as well. I'm the oldest of five. All my siblings have gone to college, with higher degrees. My youngest brother's my financial planner. Like that's everybody's married, with children. So, which was something that didn't happen as often in my family. It was a lot of single mothers or fathers that weren't in the household. So we wanted to be different. And so we all, started well, they started to listen, let's put it that way. But understanding how you get paid. And so people can't take advantage of you, your worth. Understanding your worth is probably, like I always say, your value comes from your youthfulness to your society and your family. That to me. If you only worried about yourself, I mean, that's not to say that all humans aren't worth anything. It's just to say that you're in a society where, in order for that society to grow, you have to be useful to the group. And so when I look at the ability to be useful to the group, that comes from your network. And unfortunately, the more money you make, the better rooms you can get in. And so understanding my contract, even now working for the bank, understanding how my bonus works, so that based on my performances, I can articulate, hey, you offered this, but I think I deserve this. But if you can't read the fine print, it's hard to be able to argue what it is that your value is in your roles.
Oh, I totally agree with that. That is a succinct assessment of why it's so important that we read and we really understand critically what we're reading and the importance and power of not only reading but words. Now, let's talk about STEM, science, technology, engineering, math. STEM is now STEM is the future. Well, you're a math guy. When we talk about STEM and we talk about that relationship, how can we get our kids to gravitate more towards STEM fields, encourage them more to read STEM type of books? This way they're more successful and they have that information.
I love STEM books.
Well, I know
What's your favorite
with
STEM book?
I got a lot. Sometimes I read them online. Sometimes I got sometimes I got like a real one that's like, solid. You can touch it. And I bet, okay, 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 okay.
well, he also
And then
goes
I read it
to the
again.
Code Ninjas. We put him in programs.
Mhm.
We took him over to Kennesaw State for the coding classes that they gave in the summertime. So just putting them involving kids into things that, like I said, he probably like me thinks engineering wise, like they got the engineer's brain, where mathematically he does everything in his head quickly, and he's like, well, I got the answer. Why do I need to write it out? But but at the same time, I would just encourage to find programs, because a lot of counties have some programs that you can join that may be free or you can get a voucher for. But I would encourage parents to involve their kids, because it's going to be the future. We're going to start gearing away from a lot of things that don't involve, like just the coding aspect and developing some type of program that's going to lead to people having success. We can see it now in social media. You got people who had tough times finding jobs, but they've been able to create content through understanding the social media platform and how it works. And that's the way that the world's going to go. And at some point, money's going to change. There's going to be an on and off switch for financing. Hopefully, we can accumulate enough resources in my family so that we're not as affected as others will be. But we got to figure out a way to get more people who look like us, understanding not what today is happening, but where the world's going. I think sometimes we're a step behind, and we got to figure out a way to get ahead of the game a little bit.
And I agree with that. And just so for Rowan, there's a program called STEM Wars, and I'll make sure that I send you that information. They have some really cool things they do. They have kids that learn about robotics. It's one of the things I used to volunteer to go to, and they would have it at Atlanta Technical College every year. Awesome stuff, awesome information. I'll make sure to get that to you. I know that he'll enjoy it, because a lot of times they bring the different schools there for this, and it's 3 or 4 days. I've got to ask my friend if he's going to have it this coming next school year.
They
But
at my school. They
they
did it at
had
my
it at
school.
your school?
Yeah, because my school is like next to a big fat church. So they're probably like, okay, we can go to this place because we know where the church is. And
That
it
would
was
be
really, really
awesome.
fun.
Oh, it is. It is. They had kids that were making little robots. They were doing all kinds of really cool stuff. And
Yeah,
so
his
I
brother and
know
sister
that would be fun.
got him a robot
I built
that he
it
built.
by myself.
He put it all together, and he loves that type of stuff. Anything, Legos. He's always building something. So that's
That
right up.
is,
I let some drawing or reading something.
I love it. I love it. Well, Roshown, Rowan, it's been a pleasure and my absolute joy having you on my show today. Roshown, just tell
Having us.
everybody again what you do, where you're
So,
at.
mhm. So I'm located in the suburbs of Atlanta. I work for Chase Bank. I cover the southeast region from Oklahoma to Central Florida, all the way across to the Carolinas and home lending. So my role is business development, where I support the sales team and the community leaders, trade organizations, builders, nonprofits, people who help those that want to purchase homes, get more educated about the home buying process, and that is one of the ways to, generational wealth is through home ownership, especially if you don't have the funds up front to start it. But it can help put your kid, 20 years from now into college. That it can help you get the next property for rental income. I mean, there's a lot of things that can be done through home ownership when you got the right people giving you the right information.
Oh, I totally agree. Thank you so much for stopping by. You are amazing. I love what you're doing. I love the fact that you're always giving back. And we're going to talk soon. We've got some things coming up that you and I are going to do.
Oh yeah,
It's going to be
Mhm.
absolutely epic.
I agree.
Okay. Bye. I gotta go play with my friend. He's been waiting for a long time.
Awesome. This was absolutely amazing. It blessed my soul. I can't tell you how important it is that we have these conversations around the importance and power of reading. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye for now.
Hi, I'm Michelle, the Computer Lady, author and children's book publisher of the Mommy Readers Collection series of books. Well, we know how important it is for us to read, but we also know how important our public hospitals are. We're here in Atlanta. My public hospital is Grady. They saved my life. And I would like to give back, and I need your help to do so. I've created a new fundraiser called Building Towards Our Future. And what's going to happen is we're going to make sure, you and I together, that Grady keeps on serving the marginalized, the poor, and the indigent in the Atlanta metro area. All right, stay tuned for more announcements. I'm going to be telling you how real soon. Thank you for joining me in this fight to make sure that we can live with Grady. You know what's going on in our society, book banning, and over 38 million children don't have books in their homes. Join me for some exciting segments as we talk about the importance and power of reading with my guests on the PIC TV network, channel 1000.